A janitor named Ronald Reed died in 2014 at the age of 92. He worked at a gas station for 25 years and then swept floors at J.C. Penney for another 17. Nothing about his life screamed wealth. His jacket was held together with safety pins. But when lawyers settled his estate, they found $8 million. That same year, Richard Fuscone, a Harvard-educated former Merrill Lynch executive, filed for bankruptcy. He had everything Ronald Reed didn't: the degrees, the connections, the salary. And he still went broke. Morgan Housel opens The Psychology of Money with these two stories because they reveal something most people never consider. Financial success has almost nothing to do with how smart you are. It has everything to do with how you behave. Housel spent years as a financial columnist at the Motley and the Wall Street Journal. He studied billionaires and bankrupt lottery winners, historical market crashes, and quiet fortunes built over decades. What he found is that money decisions aren't made in spreadsheets. They're made in living rooms, during arguments, at 3 in the morning when you can't sleep. They're emotional, personal, messy. And that's the first big insight. No one is crazy. Everyone makes financial decisions based on their own unique experience. Someone who grew up during the Great Depression thinks about risk completely differently than someone who grew up during the tech boom. Neither of them is wrong. They're just prisoners of their own history. When you realize this, you stop judging other people's money choices and start examining your own biases. The second insight might be the most powerful one in the entire book. There is a critical difference between getting wealthy and staying wealthy. Getting rich requires optimism, risk-taking, and putting yourself out there. Staying rich requires the exact opposite. It requires humility, frugality, and an almost paranoid awareness that everything you've built could disappear. Housel points to Warren Buffett, who started investing at age 10 and never stopped. Buffett's secret isn't that he's the greatest investor. It's that he's been investing for over 80 years. Time did the heavy lifting. Compound interest is only powerful if you give it decades to work. And you can only give it decades if you survive the short term. That leads to the third insight. Being reasonable is more important than being rational. A perfectly rational investor would never panic sell. But humans aren't perfectly rational. If an aggressive portfolio keeps you awake at night, a slightly lower return that lets you sleep is the smarter choice. Because the best financial plan isn't the one with the highest projected return. It's the one you can actually stick with. The fourth insight is what Housel calls the man-in-the-car paradox. When you see someone driving a Ferrari, you don't think about the driver. You think about how you'd look driving that car. People buy expensive things hoping to earn admiration and respect, but the admiration never comes. It goes to the object, not the owner. Real wealth, Housel argues, is the money you don't spend. It's invisible. It's the options it gives you, not the things it buys, and that connects to the deepest idea in the book. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. That's what money really buys. Not stuff, not status. Freedom. Control over your time is the single greatest dividend money can pay. So how do you apply this? Start by building a gap between your ego and your income. When you get a raise, don't upgrade your lifestyle. Let compound interest do its work by staying in the game longer than everyone else. Accept that you'll make mistakes, that the market will drop, that plans will fail. Build room for error into everything. And stop measuring your wealth by what's visible. The neighbors with the new car might be drowning in payments. The quiet family next door might be the millionaires. Ronald Reed understood something that Richard Fuscone never did. Wealth isn't about earning the most. It's about keeping what you earn, giving it time, and knowing when you have enough. Morgan Housel wrote, "The psychology of money to remind us that the most important financial skill isn't math. It's patience, humility, and understanding that your relationship with money tells the story of who you are."